In this episode, we are going to get down and dirty and we are going to see what's happening with one of the three bastards of the crown. I'm Michael Foster, and this is Reaction to Romance. So, best-selling author Elizabeth Rose has been kind enough to give us an autographed copy of The Restless Sea Lord. I do know that this is an entire trilogy, and they are the legendary bastards of the crown. This is The Restless Sea Lord. So, I have not read this yet, so we're just going to pick a random chapter here and break it down. Rowan heard the sound of shouting and the war cries of his brothers and their armies, realizing the fools must have thought his kissing the wench was the signal to attack. Okay. When our brother kisses the wench, attack. It's battle time. Spinning on his heel, he hit the guard in the head with the hilt of his sword, sending the man sprawling across the ground. Okay. Nay, Cordelia cried out, and Rowan pulled her out of the way as a dagger whizzed past her ear and embedded itself into the rain barrel. Water spouted out, hitting the guard in the face. We got some action happening here. The man's eyes opened and he sputtered, hurrying to get to his knees. God's eyes, I don't have time to protect you now, Rowan said, kicking the sword out of the guard's hand and then turning around to meet one of the king's soldiers head on. Ooh. Swiping his sword forward, he sank it into the soldier's chest before the man did the same to him. Cordelia screamed at seeing all the blood. She was going to ruin everything. Keep your mouth shut unless you want to lose your head, he warned, this time blocking her with his body as his brother Reed tossed a guard through the air. Seeing some bodies fly and blood splurting. Elizabeth, you're writing an action scene here. The man landed at their feet, and Cordelia peeked out from behind him and screamed again. So some lifeless body hits the ground. She's screaming. Sorry about that, called out Reed. I didn't see the lassie that. All right. So this is obviously, I'm just picking it up here at page 36. This is the first time I'm catching any kind of an accent, as I say, accent. Sorry about that, Reed called out. I didn't see the lassie there. All right. I guess I went straight to Irish on that one. I don't know. Could you do anything else with it? I didn't see the lassie there. Maybe Russian. I don't know. You've got a girl? Shouted Rook, taking down the two guards with ease. This isn't time for that, you fool. Do something with her. No time for love, Dr. Jones. Just do your job and get the guards away from the cart and let me worry about the wench. He spat, seeing a soldier running toward him with a sword drawn. Oh boy, it's on. Dressed the way she was, looking like an old hag. No one was going to think a noble woman was right in the midst of the battle. Oh. I like that. No one was going to think a noble woman was right in the midst of the battle. That made me think, I remember one of the classes that I had, it was actually, I think, was it critical theory? Perhaps it was, when we were talking about different ethnocentric sort of viewpoints. One of them would be from Apocalypse Now. If anyone saw that Francis Ford Coppola's movie, Vietnam War, all the helicopters were around and the American soldiers were pulling people out and they were guarding, they were guarding the choppers, and this woman just ran right past them in there with a bomb and blew up a helicopter. And that was just going to show that, from the American soldiers' viewpoint during the Vietnam War, women and children were not enemy combatants, so they would never even see that, so that's why she ran right past them. And maybe that's what's going on here, the way these people think. Noble woman and be in the midst of battle. And they wouldn't care if a peasant were killed in the fight. Nobody cares when the poor get killed in battles. Boy, it's a good thing that changed. Brody climbed into the driver's seat of the cart and waved his arms through the air to get Rowan's attention while his brothers kept the rest of the soldiers at bay. They had to leave now if they were to have any chance at all of getting the goods to the ship and away from the coast without being caught. Yeah, it's stinking pirates. That's all this is about. They're just trying to get the booty to the boat, but they've got extra booty that they weren't planning on in the form of the wench. Go, he shouted, signaled Brody, who slapped the reins and started the horses moving forward. The battle was still in full swing, and he couldn't just leave the wench there unprotected. No, leave her your sword, or at least a knife. That's the least he could do, right? Besides, she's heard too much. You're not gonna kill her, are you? This is a pretty violent fight. With one paragraph left, does the wench live or does the wench die? With one word from her, their operation could be blown apart. He had no choice but to take her with him. Let me go, she cried. See, she doesn't even want to go. Let me go, she cried out as he pulled her by the arm toward the approaching cart. When Brody passed by with the goods, Rowan tossed her into the back of the wagon. Managing to fight off another soldier, he then jumped up into the cart with her. I tell you, this Rowan's... I like this guy. And probably there's a good chance he's doing this all while he's... Does that look like the kind of guy that would be drinking rum while he's fighting all these guys? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, all right, he just pulled some, like, beaten up guys, then jumped back into the cart. I guess I've seen too many Marvel movies. I'm seeing him, like, do a backflip into the cart. They sped away towards the Sea Mirage. That has to be their boat. With Rowan wondering how he was going to explain this one with his brothers or his crew. I brought a wench. You got a problem with that? That's what, if I was playing Rowan, this is my wench. And she could turn out to be a good wench. I mean, imagine like the life that she could bring to the party. This isn't me talking because I do the cooking, but all I'm saying is that imagine if she could cook. A boat full of dudes, and all they're doing is just drinking rum and sucking on lime so they don't get scurvy. And wait, scurvy or a goiter? Now, goiter's iodine, scurvy's lack of vitamin C. All right. Elizabeth Rose can write an action sequence. That's like something that I would want to be in, like, and actually film it. Cracking people with the butt of his sword, knives are whizzing by her ear. They're hitting where the rainwater is. Water's spitting out all over the place. His brother's picking up guys, smashing them and throwing them at their feet. Their lifeless bodies are there. She's screaming. I'm thoroughly impressed with the action sequence of what's going on here. Like I said, Rowan sounds like a dude I would want to play. So Elizabeth, when the studios call, keep me in mind. But anyway, the fight scenes are great. So yeah, we didn't really delve too much into anything romantic here. The most romance you're gonna get is the fact that he kissed the wench, and his dumbass brothers thought that was the cue to go to war. I've got a feeling though that could foreshadow. That could be foreshadowing what's going to be happening here, because he's obviously taking her with him. He didn't kill her. They're all like, she knows too much. All he had to do was off with the head, and nope, he kept her alive, brought her with. Now he's going to go back and explain. And it seems like he's a pretty alpha dude. I haven't met his other two brothers yet, but I will. That is a quick reaction that we had there to The Restless Sea Lord by best-selling author Elizabeth Rose. You can check out all of her links below where you can get the book. You can check out some of her other works. And if you'd like, make some comments, start up a conversation. I will say I used to do this for a living in my English class. So if nobody talks and no one's raising their hands, I'm Michael Foster, and this is Reaction to Romance.